Today, we begin our journey from China's Kubuqi Desert, a place that people once didn't just call a desert, but a sea of death. Because here, life meant slowly fading away. Every year, nearly 500,000 acres of land were silently buried under sand. Fertile lands turned into desert right before people's eyes. Plants dried up, and people were forced to abandon their homes. All around, endless waves of sand, scorching winds, and a silence that signaled defeat in the battle for survival. But the most terrifying part, the desert wasn't stopping. It kept expanding. Villages, farmland, roads, everything was slowly disappearing. This process has a name: desertification, when living land gradually turns into barren desert. And Kubuqi was one of its most extreme examples. China tried everything: planting trees, building sand control stations, launching massive projects, investing millions. But nothing seemed to stop the growing sea of sand. Because once a desert starts expanding, stopping it becomes incredibly difficult. Then came a man with an idea so unusual that people laughed at him. His name was Wang Wenbiao. He invested all his savings, took loans, and began what many called madness. He brought in over 100 bulldozers and 300 workers. They worked 18 hours a day. They started creating small square grids on the sand using dry shrubs. Inside those grids, they planted willow trees. These weren't ordinary trees. Their roots could go as deep as 300 feet to find water, surviving where almost nothing else could. But the harsh desert winds made survival difficult. Sandstorms dried out the soil and destroyed young plants. So Wang used a clever technique, surrounding the plants with shrubs to block wind and retain moisture. This small idea slowly started making a difference. People still laughed, but he didn't stop. Day after day, year after year, he continued. Sand movement slowed. It seemed the impossible might become possible. But then came another challenge: maintaining the trees. They needed regular trimming to grow strong. Doing this manually across such a vast desert was nearly impossible. So who would do it? That's when an unexpected solution appeared: rabbits. A special breed called Rex rabbits, also known as white gold. Their fur is extremely soft and valuable. A single skin can sell for $30, while raising one costs only $2. But that's not the real story. The real magic lies in their behavior. These rabbits love eating the tender shoots of willow trees, and when they do, the trees grow stronger and thicker. In other words, they were naturally doing the pruning work humans struggled with. And that's not all. Their waste acted as powerful natural fertilizer, bringing life back to the dead soil. Even more interesting, they couldn't fully digest grass seeds, so the seeds returned to them. Slowly, grass started appearing where there was once only sand. A natural cycle was formed, nature and animals working together. Gradually, sand movement slowed. Moisture stayed in the soil. The winds lost their power, and within a few years, the dead desert began turning green. But the transformation didn't stop at the environment. It changed people's lives too. Locals were encouraged to raise rabbits. Homes turned into small farms. Rabbit fur became a source of income. People who once fled began returning. Year after year, the transformation continued, and eventually, large parts of the Kubuqi Desert turned green. The Sea of Death became a symbol of life. But Wang didn't stop there. He built a massive solar power plant in the desert. 196,000 panels arranged in the shape of a running horse. This plant generates 2.3 billion kilowatt hours of electricity annually, enough for around 400,000 people. But here's the twist: the panels also reduce. Underneath, that shade allows grass to grow, and that grass feeds rabbits, sheep, and ducks. A completely new ecosystem emerged where technology and nature work together. Today, this model is no longer limited to China. Countries in Spain, Africa, and the Middle East are adopting